Hi, welcome to the Upper Room. I am your host, King Cleve, along with my co-host, the legend that is Larry, and Zeke, the
Yes.
5 foot freak.
What's up?
We are definitely glad to be back in the house. We have a very special show for you today. You won't want to miss it. I know the legend this is another one of his babies. He chomping at the bits. I told him he like a dog after a bone, but
I'm itching for a scratch, King.
is that what it is?
I'm itching for a scratch.
You scratch, huh? Well, I'm sure you gonna get it.
Yeah, bring it.
Bring it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's do this, man. Since we had to make some time adjustments and whatnot, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this. We're gonna get into this blitz, man. And it's a couple of things I know you and I talked about. One specifically we got to talk about, but
go on, man. Go. What you got?
But it was another mass shooting today.
Yeah, I didn't want to expound on it because it just hit, and I'm still marinating. But it's
at an elementary school.
That's real, man. That shook me up because Wes, we got kids in elementary, bro.
Yeah, my daughter just received her awards today. And I was just, dude. I don't even have no words for it.
No. But people talking about the security system, and supposedly they did have good security, but the problem is he got in because his mama worked there.
So my thing is, what is good security, man?
Well, okay, like at GISD, they have pretty good security, bro. Ain't nobody just getting through those doors, bro. I mean,
I disagree.
Okay,
I disagree. Kids are letting kids in through back doors. They propping doors, and it's not enough security in the schools. This is my thing. When you come through that front door at some of these GISD schools, locations, as well as in the HISD schools where I'm at, there's no security or police guard at the front door. There's no metal detectors. Nobody's getting searched.
So, the only way we can fix that is take the Joe Clark way and put chains on the doors.
No, you should put chains on the door. I think you need more police officers. This is the problem I have too. Every time that damn bell rings at the school and location I'm at, as well as some of the GISD schools, you don't see officers in the hallway. And if they are in the hallway, they ain't in the right hallways, or it's not an officer in every hallway.
Oh, that's at Ball High, and I know what you.
That's a staffing issue, right? And then do you have the manpower for that? That's what you have to look at.
We say the manpower, King Cleve, they need to create the manpower. They need to hire more officers. They need to put more officers in the schools.
Then the next thing is, that we don't have the budget for that. But back to your point though, you were talking about how open it is, and Baja is vulnerable, bro. It's just too many entrances and exits to cover all that. It would almost be impossible, bro. And I mean, I'm just as guilty because I go through the back door where Doc and I'm at, and I just get somebody to come and open me the door. I just call for it. So yeah, I don't never go through. Right. And if I want to wake up one day and take people out, it's easy. It is. But I could say at the middle school, at Central, and the elementary schools, it's not that many entrances and exits. They have it a lot more on lockdown than I would say Ball High. But again, the whole point is this is elementary school, man, and
who would expect it? Who would expect it?
I think Mr. Abbott Rabbit guy, he needs to be held responsible. He changed the laws where people don't have to go to classes and have concealed firearms. I think the age of getting I don't know what type of firearm this young man used, but at 18, it should be raised to 21. And if you're 18 and you are with a firearm, and have to be with somebody that's legal to have a firearm. And if you commit a murder and you with that person, they should be charged the same charge as the person that committed the murder.
Okay, I'm not sure about Abbott, but I do agree with you. Yeah, they need you opening up a can of worms if you're going to allow teachers to have guns in the school. Yeah, you got more people on hand to be able to deal with the situation immediately. But again, it's a slippery slope, man. I don't know. There's really no good answers for this.
We keep talking about the gun laws, right? But even before laws were passed for open carry, purchasing guns, people got a hold of guns. I mean, most crimes that are committed with unregistered guns,
right?
Guns that were stolen,
right?
That's a double-edged sword, Zeke. So you know we have to look at his means, where he got the gun, and and so like when you look at the security, okay. So again, budget is a big thing. So I look at when I go to my daughter's school, they have teachers. They don't have police or even security guards for that matter. They have now all the doors are manned. Somebody is always by, the doors or whatnot in the hallways. You can just walk into the school. Now, once you get there, it's another set of double doors that have to be open, from the office, or you have to have a code, whatever it may be. But still, let's say I take all the legal routes and getting in. I go show my ID because hell, at this point, if I'm going to do that, I'm not worrying about them finding out who I am because they're going to know, right?
Yeah, eventually. But why we not searching people when they come in? Why we don't have the metal detectors? Why the kids can't carry see-through book bags or mesh book bags? There's ways to prevent it. This dude walked in, like the legend said, because his mom worked there. But you know what I bet they let him do? They let him come right in. Nobody bothered to search him. Nobody bothered to pat him down. I guarantee it wasn't no police officer at the door when he came in.
So what's going to end up happening is that, governments, Congress, whatever, they're going to, I wouldn't say overreact, but they're probably going to be extreme now because this is probably one of the most extreme school shootings. Even though the ones at the high schools, they're awful. But man, when you think about
elementary,
5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, bro, it's just, I can't even imagine what them parents are going through right now, man. And it's rough, man. I didn't think we was going to touch on it because it's hard for me to even let it register with me right now.
I had to. I actually laid down, took a nap today, and I woke up, and that was the first thing that popped up. It just kind of blew my mind. But what we said that we wanted to talk about, your man's legend.
Who was that?
Oh, Dwight. Right? When we gonna get on Dwight?
Dwight who?
Howard.
Oh my God.
Man, what did Dwight do? What did he do now?
God. I wish we would have had the video to pull up. I don't
know if we can even put that on.
I want the people to see it. Okay,
man, you should have told me this. Legend, I could have gotten that.
I know. I didn't think the king was going to go there, man. But since he gone there, since we ain't opened that up. So anyway, in case the people out there in America don't know, Dwight Howard was seen. He was in street clothes. He was on the bench, okay? I don't know how long ago this was. I think he was playing for...
When he grabbed the guy penis?
Yeah, man. So you saw that.
Yeah, I guess it's still relevant, but that's old.
Is it?
I ain't never heard of that.
That's old, man.
You didn't tell me that,
But
that's old. But we can touch on it.
No,
not touch on the penis, but we can touch on
it. I don't want to touch it.
The point is that the point I want to make about that is that's sexual battery, isn't it?
That's assault. Man.
That's assault.
That dude can press charges, but obviously he enjoyed it. So it's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, man. And all that leads into what we're gonna talk about. Man, boy, we at war. We at war. We at war. Better wake up. What else you got, King? You good?
No, I mean,
I got a couple of more since we're talking about Nick Saban.
Oh, wow.
Hughes Jackson State Athletic Program, Deion Sanders, Coach Primetime for paying players, huh? The hypocrisy and all that.
He didn't only just accuse Primetime.
I know he did A&M, but that was a cover up. He knew he couldn't just go and pick on the little black school, so he got to go and pick on A&M. These people have been doing this for decades. You just mad because what? You ain't getting the same recruits? I mean, what? How much richer can you get?
But I don't understand he using that they're paying the players when the players can get paid now, and they just getting NIL, what is called NIL deals.
Yeah.
Is he mad because Deion players getting higher NIL deals?
He just mad because people just want. He can't accept the fact that somebody don't want to come play for him and go to Jackson State is an HBCU school, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
they get number one recruits.
Exactly, and it just goes back to that old slave master mentality, man. Like, oh man, my slaves are running off. They're going to the other plantation. I mean, to me, that's the mindset that it reminds me of when you just get upset. You upset at an HBCU or Alabama. Hell, your program can probably beat a third of the NFL teams, and you upset because this guy is building a program. They ain't won nothing really yet.
They'll be challenging them in 4 or 5 years.
Well, okay, that's what he's scared of. But still, man, it's bullying to me. It's bullying to me.
Let me say this, and Isaac Benefit just sent a message which touched on a point that I was wanting to say. I don't think that it was so much that he was telling, but that was his indirect way of telling his boosters and surrounding friends
of the program.
We need to step this up. Because we're starting to lose guys that were for sure coming here. We're starting to lose these guys. But if you look, even though the guy was the cornerback that signed with Jackson State, even before him, they had a guy that was a top 10 basketball player. Remember, he signed with Howard. And that was in the midst of all the police shootings and everything. And, we had to go and we had to support our own, right? So, but I really don't think that it was Saban telling.
You think he had another motive behind it?
Yeah, it was a little motivation.
Yeah,
to the boosters.
Yeah, and surrounding friends. And surrounding friends.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, follow the money. It makes sense.
Follow money all the time. That's what you always gonna do.
Yeah.
If you want to find the root problem or something, you follow the money.
Show me the money. All right. In Buffalo, New York. Now, this is this happened, I guess, a week or so ago, but since we're talking about shootings, this was a mass shooting, killing 10, injuring 3, but this was a hate crime. Again, this is not newsflash. That's the point of me saying this is not to bring it to attention, but my point of bringing this up is that racism is here. It's not going nowhere, and this country was built on it. But we cannot help their cause. So this is where I'm going with this. We can't keep continuing to kill ourselves for insignificant, unnecessary reasons over turf, colors, somebody messing with my gal, somebody looking at me crazy. That has to stop immediately. And I know we've said this before, we keep saying it, but we're just helping the enemy. The murders right now are spiking in Galveston County right now. But right now, Lamarck right now, hey man, it's on in Lamarck, bro.
They're gonna be their own little murder capital.
Yeah. It's right now. It has shifted from Galveston. It's Lamarck right now is a hotbed of just murder. And so I say all that to say this. When I think about the gangs, and y'all know I've touched on this a couple of times in the past, man. When I think about the gangs and the gangs in LA and the way we grew up, the Crips and Bloods and all these organizations and the rap lyrics that glorify all this, where are you when it's time to stand up to the man? Name me one time any of these little gangster organizations has done something. I'm not promoting violence. I'm just making the point is that you are willing for no reason to kill your own. And we can talk about generational cursing and slavery. I know about all that. But golly, man, enough is enough. When do you do something where I can at least respect it? Where I can be like, hey, man, yeah, they're doing their thing, but they're across the board. They ain't just picking on their own. They standing up against the man. That has yet to happen, man. And I just have, when I keep seeing these situations, I just get less and less respect for it all, man. And anybody that's even dealing with it right now. Now, I know ain't nobody in our age group should be a part of that. And if you are, well, man, you just sorry. It is what it is.
Nah, you're stupid. My thing is, I think the only consequences that they looking at they facing is that somebody may come back and shoot at them or whatever the case may be. But I'm hearing kids' parents getting shot, they siblings, little cousins, and all of that. But the thing is, like you said, they're afraid to go after the man or confront the man because the consequences can be is they may get away with killing you.
There you go.
Or you afraid to try to go change the law the right way. You want to change it the Wild Wild West way, which is working in your felon when you killing another felon or another convict because you think nobody gonna care about this.
It's a convenient crime. It's convenient. It's convenience.
Yeah.
They know they can get away with it. But still the same. It just really goes to show you the heart and where we at as a people. Because we can separate ourselves all day. Those still our people. They still affect our communities. We still got to make a decision when we walk down a dark street, dark alley, and you see 3 or 4, 5 of them with hoods. I don't care if what color they. You already know we're gonna make that decision. We're probably gonna end up going the other way to protect our family because we have that type of fear of our own and just keeping it real. Keeping it real.
I agree.
That's all.
Well, that's all, huh?
That's all I got for today.
All right. Well, with that being said, we'll go and take a short break. I guess I'll let me know. I know we're gonna have to cut some corners somewhere. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back with our topic. Touch on it, right, and then we'll get into the segments where we bring in our guests. Right?
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's go to break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Oh, y'all got okay. We're back. Very special show. We are going to cut down this segment. We're going to have to stretch it out. We had to make some adjustments to the show that our scheduler didn't take into consideration. We ain't gonna get it's every week.
We asked for a raise, though. We ain't got it in the budget, huh?
Ain't in the budget. Anyway, so let's jump right into this. And the reason we kind of came up with this show, with this topic. This was your guy, wasn't it, Legend?
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. I know that's the guy. So we kind of had to, pay homage, to him.
And that we will.
This dude, man, I'm laughing because Legend, he just loves pissing people off. He just goes group. And but because historically, when we look at it, and especially in the Black community, who normally gets the blame when relationships fail?
The fellas.
We do.
Okay. So, but do you think that comes from people not taking the responsibility, or not wanting to take responsibility for their own actions, for their own? Every action has a reaction, correct? And
right.
You should be held accountable for deeds done and undone. Let me say that, and undone. There's a lot of stuff that goes undone that causes problems, but we'll get into that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead, put a tag on this. Do you take responsibility for your actions, your relationship? Take this call off.
All right.
Legend, let's go, man, because I know let's give me something. I know you ready. And
okay, I'll go and take lead on it. First off, I just want to make sure that everybody understand that, we're not here. This ain't a bashing woman day. And any females that are listening, please understand that. To me, there's no gender that's better than the other. We're here to balance the scales. The scale's been unbalanced for too long, man. And to allude to your point that you was talking about earlier, Cleve, who's to blame? I'm gonna go ahead and put it on us. I'm gonna go and let me explain. I believe men, we have a lot of bravado, we have a lot of machoism, there's a lot of things that we do that we feel like makes us a man. But what we fall short is that we, in our relationships, we live in fear. And let me explain that. We have a fear of not having peace in the home. We have fear that, oh, she's going to be mad at me. I'm not going to get none tonight. Oh, I don't want to be in the doghouse. So we make our decisions based on fear. We have a problem because we want to control our outcome. So that leads to the fear because we don't have that control. The control issue leads to manipulation. So what we end up doing, we probably say things just to kind of make peace. Y'all know that old bullshit statement about happy wife, happy life. Man, I hate that, man. I hate it. And I used to live by it because that's what the old school told us to do.
True.
They told us to do that.
In the deaf ear, right?
Man, bro. So Yeah, it's not about going back and forth, but I believe men in general, we have silenced our voice so we can control the outcome of what we want. But in the meantime, we still come out as liars and manipulators, and we lose respect because the one thing that the women going to bring up, well, why you didn't say that in the beginning? Why you said that? Because they remember everything. They got memories like an elephant, man. They don't forget nothing, every detail. And while we're just kind of like maybe softening the blow or sugarcoating the situation, just so we can kind of get something like, because 90% of the situation.
That's what it goes back to.
Huh?
That's what it all circle back to, right?
For me, I'm not going to speak for all men, but yeah, a lot of my decisions I made in the past before I got saved from this crap and realized, no, man, my voice counts. If I feel this way, no, it counts. And if I'm living my truth and I'm doing the right thing, then I feel like the journey of where I'm going is going to take me where I'm supposed to be. And if you can't feel that and you can't rock with me with that, then we ain't supposed to be. But if I am doing wrong, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna come into fruition. So that's why I put the blame. We have more control of the situation. Women, they animalistic, man. They're gonna take advantage of every little situation. We love them to death. We want them and this and that, but they have it in them. They are selfish by nature, and they're going to take advantage. They are receivers. They are takers. We're givers. If you take it to the bedroom, we're the givers. They're the takers. It's on every level that you think of. So we naturally go into a situation when we think about a woman, we think about, hey man, what can I do to provide for her, to take care of her because I want to impress her? A woman look at a man and look at what can he do for me? But it's just natural. That's just the natural way of doing things. But we have to be men. They want us to be a man. They really do. Okay. They want us to be men in every situation, regardless on what they say. Because at the end of the day, if you speak your truth and you stand by it and you do it within love and respect, they will in turn later on respect you quietly. They're never going to apologize for shit, but they will respect you for it. And that's why I think the fall off. Now I can go even deeper to the history and everything, but I'm gonna stop there, Cleve.
Now can I go in on the legend? For one, legend, I'm not going to agree with the fear part. Yeah. Because I think as men, we are very outspoken. We just don't know how to choose our words. They may come off a little too strong. Then the woman is hurt. They in their feelings. And at times we don't apologize, because I know I fell into that realm before. But before I keep going on, this is what I want to tell you. No matter, and this is for the men, no matter how good she looks, somebody somewhere is tired of her shit. So a lot of times they are by themselves because of, it ain't just the man, it may be something within them.
Right.
So when it's going back to the fear, I have to disagree with that. I think a lot of times we do say what's on our mind. We don't keep our mouth shut when sometimes we supposed to,
Why don't you? Okay, let me stop you there. Why don't you say it sometimes?
Because
why don't you say it? Huh?
Because we know a lot of times it's going to lead to an argument.
So that's my point. You trying to create a peaceful situation, and you quiet in your own voice. That's out of fear because you want the peace.
No, that's not.
You're trying to control it and manipulate it, and then I guarantee the thing that you really wanted to say is gonna come back around, and then all of a sudden she's gonna be like, "Why you didn't say that 2 weeks ago when that situation came up?" Right? Because you ain't trying to hear all that. I don't feel like arguing and discussing it, and I want some. Wanting some trumps everything, bro. It is our biggest weakness, man. What you say, Wes?
It trumps everything, right?
Trumps everything, bro. It does, man. That's where we fall short. We gotta control it, dude. Our stuff is just as important, but we make it like we didn't put that stuff on a pedestal. Like we gotta work for it and manipulate and try to. Nah, man, they want us just as much, but we
need to learn how to say no. We need to learn how to say no.
Yes.
So, Legend, in other words, we need to learn the long game.
Exactly. We want immediate satisfaction and gratification. We need to be patient. That's why they beating us, man. They beating us, right, man? They cold-blooded. I'm not gonna lie. They are. They remember everything. and they know how to. I mean, they're the greatest manipulators, no lie. But they've made it to whereas we are the worst of the two genders. That's what I hate the most. For like God just made us just dirt and just put them on a pedestal. And I hate that mentality. And we've accepted that to a certain degree unconsciously. We have accepted that. And that's not how it's supposed to be. We complement each other. I'm not better or worse. I have some strengths. You got some strengths. I got weaknesses. So we complement each other. But for whatever reason, they feel like their strengths just supersedes whatever little strength we bring. And then they come with that attitude, well, I can pretty much do what you do anyway. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because when it's going down, when that robber is trying to come inside that house, and when that house is on fire, instinctively, we're going to go save the women and children. They pick and choose when they want to be a man and this and that, but they don't want to do the hard stuff, man.
When they hear noise, they want to wake us up out our snore. When they hear noise, they want to wake us up out our snore. Huh?
Exactly. I say, if you want 50-50, want to be a man 100% of the time. Be 100% of the time and be a man. We don't get to turn it
Legend, are you okay tonight?
No, I'm not. West New is going to get it, man. Hey, I'm just starting. I ain't even scratched the surface. We got to balance the scales, man. But I'm telling you, dog, the bigger issue is the alphabet people and the powers that be. They are the ones that have started this feminist movement. They done got our women to think that they don't need us. It's much bigger than what I'm talking about. But I know I don't have time, King, to discuss all that.
I don't even need to say nothing. Just keep on going.
I'm just saying, man.
They got them on the road tonight, boy.
No, I'm just look. If you go back and you think about when we came out of Vietnam, okay, a lot of our generation, our ancestors, not ancestors, but the generation before us, they was on heroin. Okay, bam, they got back, they was on drugs. Okay, so the neighborhoods turned into drugs, blah blah blah. So then we getting locked up, we're on drugs, the women, there's abuse, they're getting a divorce, families are breaking up. This is happening in the 70s because if you look at from slavery up into the 60s, we're on the upward trajectory. As soon as the 70s hit, bam, they killed off Malcolm. They killed off Malcolm and Martin. So all this happened. I'm going real fast just to get to my point that leads up to the feminist movement. And they putting these programs in. They picked the right time. These people are not stupid, man. They see what's going on in the black community. They make the women feel independent. Yeah, it made them gave them confidence and gave them some weavenues to where they can, get some help and this and that. But it took it a step further because when the 80s came, that's when the crack hit. Now we're on drugs, we in gangs, we in locked up. The family structure's breaking down, and that's how you depopulate a race. You start from the family from within. Then you got the alphabet people. They coming in. They come to do the same thing. You can't populate with the alphabet people, man. And that's why they out recruiting. But we don't see that because we're so scared. Or we don't want to offend them. The hell with that, man. There's a war going on and we can't see it, man, because we're too busy being fearful.
I agree with you.
We are scared of those people and they are kicking our ass from Congress on down. They didn't leapfrog black people, bro. Let's get the Hispanics, it's all the other races from the Middle East, and then the alphabet people, then us. We behind. We need to take the mentality of these Middle Eastern people. They come to America. They don't adopt the American way of life. They use this bitch for their benefit. They say their money and they send it back to their families, and then they come up. What we do, we started trying to be American-wise. We can't do that, man.
Or killing one another with the gangs and the violence.
Man, but I'm telling you, man, it's deep, man.
I agree with you with the 60s and the 70s because back then we was a nation of our people. We was for one another. The women was behind the men because the men was out fighting, giving a word on why we should have freedom, why we should have our rights. And then, like you said, when they start so-called colonizing and getting away from us and telling the women that you don't need a man, you can step out and voice for yourself. That gave to show them the independence and all that I don't need a man, when in actuality, you do need us because we have a family, we have a child. Somebody needs to raise that boy. You don't need to be trying to raise my son. He going to get out of here, he going to get killed because you telling them it's okay for him to do this and that, when a man should be telling them you need to sit your ass down somewhere, sit in this house and watch the people that you hanging around and the people that you going outside with.
This is what I hate. Okay, so you have women that sometimes they do have to use their masculine energy to take up the place of when a man is not there. I understand that. And look, let me tell you something. Women that's out there that's raising their kids by themselves, man, so much kudos, man, so much respect. But the problem that I'm having is when you feel like what you're doing out of survival mode is so much better than what a man can do naturally. And the case in point, a woman feel like raising a boy instead of yelling and cussing and going up and I'm being hard on him and this and that. And you're doing all this screaming and showing all this emotion. The way you raise a boy to be an effective man is to have control of his emotion. A boy, only thing when if he only seeing his mama operate in that sense, that's what he's going to do. And he does not have the discipline to keep his emotions intact. And you see a lot of that the way we react and respond to a lot of things. We don't respond with a cool, calm, collected attitude. It's all about we lose focus and we just go to the extreme. Women do that because they have no discipline and control of their emotions, but that's what we see a lot because the daddies are not there. And half the time the daddies on their own don't want to be there, and that's sorry in itself, but then there are times where the woman don't want them there. So tonight we're addressing the ones that don't want them there.
King?
Hey, dude, I don't even know what I can say. Honestly, I mean, so, all right. So the responsibility for the actions in the relationship, and you just got that's true, Larry, up here. I don't know if you can see it, but so when a man disrupts the family structure, so to speak, because you sit there, you lay with the woman, you have a child, and then you gone. Right now, don't get me wrong, every relationship is not going to work, right? And a lot of times we jump into relationships for the wrong things, whether it's what this person has, materialistic things, finance, or damn, she fine, look at her, this, that. We jump into relationships a lot of times for which and so to speak, they're doomed from the outset, correct?
Correct.
I think that there, after a period of dating, there should be at some point, you and this person sit down and you have a discussion. You pull out a list and let's check off these lists and see where we are. How do you feel about children? Your financial responsibility. I mean, just all kind of things. Because then once you start doing that, a lot of times you can see, hey man, I don't have very much in common with this person, right?
And that falls on a lot of relationships because we don't ask the right questions.
But that's what I'm getting at. So that falls on both sides of the coin. And when I say both sides of the coin, I'm talking about both genders, men and women, because then like I say, there are times when men just bail, and I'm gonna say we, not us, but men just bail because they don't want that responsibility. They don't want to be a man.
No.
Let's just put it and say, let's just call a spade, right? Yeah. Because being a man that's answering the tough questions. That's answering is, do I have enough within me to get this family through these hardships, right? That's me asking myself, am I enough for my wife? Am I enough for my children? Because let's do. I got so many gray hairs now, just from stressing, and not from stress from another person, but the stress that I put on myself, because I'm like, please, you got to pull out of this. at the end of the day, this is on you. And I think that a lot of times, sometimes, and I'm gonna say a lot of times, sometimes men look at that and be like, man, I can do it out there. But you've already started that family, right? And then on the flip side, so you have women who, some women who, if it's not their way, it's no way. I've seen this, and the phrase that kills me, June. I know you threw out one earlier that you said you hated. Oh, that's what a real man will do. I mean, yeah.
But you know what? But you know what, King? Half of them, the no way. If it ain't my way, you can hit the highway. Look what they buy themselves. They in and out of relationships.
Well, that was my point when I say that's what a real man would do, because that's been such a manipulation tool for years. That because what it does, it attacks your manhood, and once you do that it's just a change, and it's overdrive. Now I got to prove myself that, and so now you have to look at, but would a real woman ask me that?
Right. And then but a real woman will be with a real man. So why you can't find a real man?
Well, I think that we need to become stronger, though, in belief in ourselves. So where those attack methods, because it's universal. I'm not saying every woman is the same, but when we've gotten into it with our wives, my ex-wife, whatever, they know where to go, and they know that we're not going to go there because we're built a certain way. Okay. Again, it goes back to how we're wired. We're wired, a real man, us three, to protect. And the fact that that's in us, we are hesitant to go below the belt. They're not, because they're not wired to protect. And so we have to develop something inside of us, the confidence and the strength to be able to ignore that, not let that get to us, and watch our responses, but still speak our truth.
But Legend, you said if we go that route, that means it's a fear, but it's not a fear.
Zeke, I'm gonna have to cut you. We need to go to break so we can come back with our first guest and kind of keep on schedule. We gotta, Legend got a little excited.
I should have put that in the schedule.
Yeah.
That was gonna happen. Yeah.
So we'll with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and go to break, and then we'll come back with our first guest.
All right.
All right. We are back live up the room. We have a very special guest with us, Miss Latrice Butler. Now, have you've been paying attention to the show, correct?
Yeah, very close attention.
Okay. You've heard some of the things that we spoke on, mostly legend there. But before we go any further, give us your resume. Tell us about you. Tell everybody about yourself. If you got any social platforms and stuff that you need to be followed on, you have any kind of businesses. I know you're a poet. Or just tell us about you.
Well, I mean, I don't have like any business social media platforms, but you know, of course, I'm a poet. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a writer. I have a day job, of course. That's my side gigs. But I'm an editor. If you need any editing, I edit novels, documents, anything of that nature. So yeah, poet, spoken word artist, editor, aspiring author, and so on.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, again, so you know, we asked you to be a part of this because we always like to have a young lady's perspective because we don't like to want the show to be so one-sided because you know we all are men and you know we're gonna not have the same views. We're gonna be in a roundabout way close to the same views. So with that being said, Legend, you have anything that you would like to ask Miss Butler here?
How you doing, Miss Butler?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just got this question I'm about to ask. I'm gonna just get right. I just want. Okay, let me just ask. I'm trying to sugarcoat it because you know we just met.
Go ahead, Legend. Go ahead.
All right. You know, so
You don't. And let me just tell you, you don't have to sugarcoat anything with me.
okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Here we go. All right. So anyway, what are the benefits? Okay, what are the benefits a man gets from a woman in a marriage that he doesn't get from being in just a regular dating boyfriend-girlfriend relationship? What does a woman bring more in a marriage?
Okay. First of all, I've never been married.
Okay. So that don't even apply to you. So that's what I should have asked at first. Okay.
Let me just tell you, I was raised by my parents until death did them part.
Okay.
So I was raised by a good example of a marriage and a good example of a father, a husband, and a wife. So
okay.
benefits that I know of, you know, as a Christian and as being raised by two parents until death did them part. A man benefits greatly from a wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Okay, you're being general. Okay, we're gonna throw the word at me.
I just started off with that. You know, that was a general statement. Okay. Yeah. So he gets his clothes washed. He gets his meals cooked. He gets the house clean. He gets the kids cared for, the homework done, the kids bathed, and she works as well.
Hello.
As well as him. So that's the benefits that he gets. Not only does she have a full-time job, she has a full-time job at home. And the man, from what I saw with my father, he went to work and he came home. He paid the bills, he came home. He took care of the yard and the car and stuff like that. But oh my God, the benefits of a wife are endless.
And so basically, by the way you was raised, when you get married, those are the things that you're going to implement in your relationship. Because I was going to reword it in a way like, what would you bring to a marriage that's different than the relationship that you're, possibly in? I don't know where you at as far as relationship wise, but what would be the
Go ahead. I'm laughing at the post.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. I had to post that one.
Hey, Legend. Can I ask Ms. Butler a question?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Ms. Butler, I'm pretty sure you have some friends that are married, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure some of those friends may have said before they was married that the things that you stated that they would do. But we know in this day of time, a lot of married women are not even doing that. They say they'll do that. They don't do that. They complain about having to do that. If the man asks them to do that, then it's why you won't do it instead of me doing it. And we have that in our society.
Okay, so the friends that I have that you just mentioned, no, they're not like that. They're like what I mentioned. They're virtuous women. So no, I don't know any of those women that are married that behaves the way that you're speaking of.
Okay.
So let me ask this. Let me interject. So
personally now, I know that those women exist.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
So what state do you, and I know you don't know, but I'm just throwing this out hypothetically. How do you think a man would feel when he comes across something like this, whereas, okay, he's taking care of, the finances, making sure the house is paid for, bills, lights on, food on the table, whatever. Okay, now I understand now we live in a day and time because we're not back with our grandparents where just the man worked, the woman stayed home, was a, homemaker or whatever. But now, so we're coming across women that they work, which is fine. Man still pays the bills, which is fine. But I have an issue, or would have an issue with, okay, I'm taking care of this, that, and the other. You're taking your money, you're spending it on whatever it is that you spend it on. You still should make sure that this house is right. Where does your responsibility lie to the family? Because you're taking your money and shopping or whatever the hell it is y'all do, brunch, whatever the hell it is. I mean, that's being done. And so where is your responsibility to, and I'm not directing this, of course, directly towards you, but where's your responsibility to the family? At what point? Because now you're sitting and you want to tell me that, okay, well, you need to help wash the dishes. You need to do this. You need to do. So what happens when my response is, then hell, if I'm taking on half of this, then you need to take on half of these bills too. But then that's when a real man would. I'm done. I just,
So what are you asking? Are you saying? Are you speaking of like the women?
I'm saying, what should a man do from a woman's standpoint when he's dealing, or when he comes across this kind of woman? Because there are, just like you said, there are women that do this, that, make sure the house is taken care of. There are women that don't, and then there are women that don't do a damn thing. They don't even want to help take care of the children.
And you're saying, what should a man do?
Yeah, and so, and listen to me. So I'm asking you, because I'm getting to a point. I'm getting to a point because you're already in this relationship, right? You're already in this relationship. Because I'm getting to a point because I want to hear what you're going to say, and then I'm going to follow up on that. But what should that man do? Should he stick around? Should he leave? You know, what's the end game to it?
I mean, if you two have come to a point where, you know, she's saying, well, you need to help clean up the house, wash the dishes, or whatever, you know, you need to do your half, then she needs to do her part as well.
I totally agree.
I mean, and if she's not doing her part, I mean, if she expects something out of you, then you have the right to expect the same thing out of her.
Correct. But what if she is willing? She's not willing to hear that, and you know,
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. So now we have that the man has abandoned his family. He's not taking care of his responsibilities. I mean, because you've created this family, right? And so we see that so much when we, especially in the Black community, when we talk about single parent homes, which 95% of the time are women raising the children, you know, and what the media and society portrays is that Black men abandon their family. But my point is, I want to look at some of the things that cause the separation, because again, like I said, every relationship is not going to work. Every relationship is, because if that was the case, you would never have a step parent, right? You'd never have a step parent. So every relationship is not going to work. The point I'm getting at is, why do we take the brunt for relationships not working? Why is it always the man? And I'm not saying we know better than that, but when you look at what society says, it's always the man, especially the Black man. We just around here making babies. We don't want to take care of responsibilities. We jump from women to women. I mean, and that's just a stigma that we've been stuck with for so many years.
Well, for me personally, that goes to a biblical standpoint where, you know, the man is the head of the household in God's eyes. If the marriage fails, it's the man's fault. It's the husband's fault for not keeping the marriage together, for not keeping the family together. But outside of a biblical standpoint, I think a lot of the issue is because most men today have been, I won't say most, I'll say a large majority have been raised by a single parent. And they were not given that father figure, that role model, to show them how to play that role.
Well, let me allude to this because she went biblical on me. So I was
about to. Okay, go ahead.
So
bring out the big guns.
So with that being said, and since we're looking at it from a biblical standpoint, the Bible also tells, okay, for one, when you choose a mate, you know, we hear this thing about waiting on what God brings you or who he wants you with. 9 times out of 10, we don't do that. We go get what we want. So now God tells you, since you ain't got what you wanted, you need to stay there. And he tells you that a man will be won over by his wife's ways. Basically, that he will change into what you need or to what you want. Well, I ain't gonna say what you want, but what you need, right? That's what the Bible says. The Bible says that a man shall be won over by his wife's ways. So now, if I have to, basically what that tells me is that if I'm going to be responsible for this relationship working or not working, whichever one it is, then that means you you have to play long game. You have to sit until I get right. Is that not what is saying? I'm just asking. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying. And I believe you lying after this. I'll see how you name me. But I'm but seriously though, what does that say to you?
What does what say to me?
That what I just said. Since I'm responsible for if the relationship works or not, and that's what the Bible says basically. Are you not responsible for staying in that relationship until I get right to your ways, win me over? But a lot of that because the wife's ways aren't right from the beginning, so he ain't gonna never be won over by no virtuous ways. But anyway.
Yes, I agree with that. But your original question was why are the men getting all the flack? And I'm telling you that's why. But yes, I do believe that the woman is responsible for, being a virtuous woman.
You a rare cookie.
Okay, I got something for you. Because this is a good guess, man. She's not giving me the resistance that I want. Ms. Butler, when you've gone out with your friends, y'all do brunch or whatever, y'all talked about Kevin Samuel. What's your take on him? And how do y'all feel about him? Did you celebrate with your girlfriends when he died?
Absolutely not. I don't celebrate anyone's death.
Okay.
I was actually saddened by his death. I agreed with his mother, his daughter, and anyone else who loved him. But I was not a fan of Kevin Samuels. I'll be the first one to say that. So I can't act like I'm a fan in death.
Right.
But I'm not celebrating his death,
Okay. Right. You're a good Christian.
I listened to Kevin Samuels. I listened to many of his videos, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that some of the things that he said was not true, but his delivery was absolutely horrible. If you had a daughter, if you have a daughter, mother, I can't imagine you would want them talk to the way that Kevin Samuels talked to some of his guests.
Right. And
he talked to men like that too, though, right?
Talk to everybody. It was across the board.
Either way, it erases the credibility of anything that he said that was good, because you're degrading these people, men and women, whoever it may be. But especially,
I agree, Ms. Butler. His approach, the way he does things is brash. And you can lose your audience or certain people that are sensitive to those things. But do you agree that there was some truth within the brashness of his delivery? Could you separate this dude is really rude, he's degrading, we could say that about Trump. But at the end of the day, if you dissect some of the things Trump has said and done, there is some truth. Sometimes we tend to get too emotional and caught up in our feelings and can't separate. But wait a minute, look at what he is saying. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just using him as an example because Trump is brash. He says asshole things. He doesn't. But there has been some time where it's like, okay, man, he may be speaking some truth, but we don't want to admit it. Could that be a situation where you and your friends and women, black women across the board, because he came off so rude to where y'all really couldn't hear what he was saying?
I heard everything he was saying, but the bottom line is that he was degrading. The bottom line is
he lost you right there.
Fat, lazy. If you're over 35, you're leftovers. All of the above. So
that was too much.
That eradicates anything that you may have said that you may have had a point. You lost me with that.
Right. And I get that. I get that because again, it's all in the approach. It's all in the presentation. And again, I guess as a man, because men are used to dealing with harsh presentations from women. And if we get sensitive about that, we're not being a man. So, you know, can that shoe be on the other foot to whereas women can, or was he just using the same tactics that women use and y'all really didn't like that? Because he's real catty. He's one of the few men that I know that can go back and forth with a woman. Most men can't do that. We ain't got the wire. We're not wired that way. Our ingredients don't add up to being able to go back and forth because we can't remember shit. We can't remember. But that dude was cold, man. And he had a lot of, I'm not gonna call him female-ish, but he did have some female strength to whereas he can probably go back and forth with the average woman. What you say? Right. I'm glad you went there because that's the way that women want to kind of paint him as, well, he's gay.
I didn't say he was gay. I said he had a lot of female strength. He had a lot of female energy.
Wow. I think he had a lot of females too.
I think he had a lot of things that he was internalizing that he needed to be addressed. I think he had a respect thing for women. I don't know. Maybe something happened in his past.
Yeah, maybe he was hurt by
a woman. I don't know, but he had an issue with women.
But he had an issue with them. But he had a lot of them, and a lot of them. I
know a lot of DL men that have a lot of women too.
Oh, I don't know a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
They're womanized. Because it hides.
So you think he was hiding something?
Oh.
I
know several DL men that are womanized.
When he did pass, he had somebody with him, and it was a female. It wasn't a male.
Yeah, that's
Miss Butler, can we go there? Let's go ahead and go there and assume that he was DL. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and go there. Okay. Does that discredit any truth that he was speaking?
No, it doesn't discredit.
Now you're judging his lifestyle, and y'all don't do that. Y'all down with the alphabets. Okay, so now all of a sudden now he has some alphabet tendencies. Now there's a problem. Does that discredit the truth?
Who is y'all?
He just said they're not directed towards you. He's just saying women in general. Women.
I just met you, but I'm speaking in general though.
Okay. Yeah. So Kevin Samuels, like I said, he had a lot of things, and that was his business, and I have no problem with it. But I know a lot of his brashness, his harshness, was due to some things that he was concealing.
Has he, Ms. Butler? Has he ever been caught with another man?
There was another man in his bed on camera that I saw. When that camera flashed to that man in that bed, yeah, I saw a man sleeping in his bed.
All right.
That he tried to blame on one of his live viewers and say that was their background, but it was the same decor that I see in his background all the time. So
okay.
It could have been a friend. Do you let your homeboy sleep in your bed?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Go sleep on the couch, I'm gonna wake you up. But,
I mean, it could have been a friend. That's all I know. That's the furthest I can go with that, you know.
But anyway, so listen, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and give us your insight. We're going to go to break, and then from there we will be back with our next guest. Maybe you get a little bit more of what that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, we got to bring Miss Butler back. She been real nice.
Hey, I know we're going to break, but my question to Ms. Butler was, in one of her statements, she said the man's supposed to lead. Why do women have so much of a hard problem with that, with the man leading? They'll say they want a man to lead, but when a man lead, you're not going to tell me what to do, or I ain't going to submit. And they take the submission of taking it the wrong way. But I know we got to go, but that was the question I was going to ask.
Well, you know why? Because the majority of women were raised by single women. The majority of the women were raised by single mothers. The majority of my friends were raised by single mothers. So I think it's the example that they were led by.
Okay.
Well, let me throw this out here real quick before we go. So I've always said that I think a lot of times women have problems with it because they feel that it's, oh, stand behind me and not beside me, and that men don't look at them as equal. And I don't think that's what it is. Listen, we're equal in essence, and y'all have heard me say this before, Otis, Larry. We're equal in essence, just not in function, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like, so when you look at, since we went biblical, now you ain't gonna be able to get me off of it, but since we went biblical, you look at God the Father, God the Holy Spirit, and God the Son. So now all three equal in essence, but not in function. And the same reason being is with a union between a man and a woman, at some point, someone is going to have to make a tough decision that you both don't agree on, right? So that's why headship was established, because someone has to make that decision. Now, I tell men all the time, you make the decision, you make the wrong decision, you got to be ready for, well, I told you it wasn't going to work. And
you got to live with it.
Yeah, you got, you know, so you have to be
it comes with the territory.
That's part of being a leader. And It goes back to what you said, Legend, why were men chose to lead this? Because we're predictable. You know, if I go to a restaurant and I go somewhere, my wife, she can pick my food because she know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get the same thing every time at a certain restaurant, right? Women normally are, I've said this before, normally smarter, think quicker, they're emotional. So, you know, one day, you know, we're gonna attack Russia, the next day we not. I mean, you know, so I mean, it's just, and I just use that as an example. And I'm not trying to, please don't think I'm not trying to take no swipes at women or anything. And nothing I have said tonight is directed towards anyone. I'm just giving examples. So that's just kind of my take on it. You know, take it for what you will. Well, yeah, like I say, let's go ahead and go to break. Again, thank you, Miss Butler, for taking time out of your
Miss Butler.
evening.
You're very welcome. I'll be glad to come back.
All right, we'll have you back as legend. You got away, and he don't, you know, he ain't feeling it. But anyway, so let's go to break, and then we'll be back with our next guest. Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're back live upper room. Do you take responsibility for your actions in your relationship? Okay, so now we have the second of 3 guests coming on, and Zeke is Miss Dominique, correct?
I don't see it yet. Oh, that she beat.
There she go.
That's you.
Can you hear us? Okay, let's make sure. We must have you muted. Let's see. Okay, now about now.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Glad to have you on the show.
Mhm.
I said, we're glad to have you on the show. So, like I did with our last guest, give us your resume. Tell us all about what you have going on.
Okay, well, I am a single mother. I do work from home. That's my regular job. Me and my best friend have a podcast. It's called Dominatrix. It's a sex podcast that we have trying to open up the bedroom, trying to get people out of their shells, open up about, different, all things sex, relationships, things of that sort. So that's what I got going on right now.
Okay, yeah, your podcast. Zeke actually sent it to us to watch, and I got through. It seemed like it was pretty interesting. I got through maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, and then my daughter walked in, so I had to turn it off.
We get that a lot.
So that's I have to do that one after dark, but it's very interesting what I saw. So I'm sure you saw our first guest on, and some of the questions and stuff that we asked her.
I did.
And so I'm gonna have to. I'm just meeting you. You seem like a nice young lady, but I got a Rottweiler behind this gate back here. I'm finna let him on out.
I think it's 3 y'all. No, it's 3 y'all Rottweilers. It's one a little bit more calmer than
Take that leash off. Go ahead, legend.
How you doing, Miss Dominique?
I'm good, legend. How you?
I'm good, baby. So let's get right to it. Do you think it's possible for a man to satisfy a woman? Not talking about sexually.
Okay.
Do you feel we can meet your needs? Do you think that they are reachable? Can we get there? Do we have the ability to do it?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. Of course, it's always potential, but you just gotta want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like anybody gonna do whatever it is they want to do. Like, you make time for what you want to make time for. You do things that you want to do. So I feel like if you want to please your partner, you know what I'm saying, not just sexually, but however, you will learn your partner. A lot of the things we talk about on our podcast is knowing your partner. And that's not just sexually, that's just all around. Like, you have to know who you with, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, then you don't know what people is able to provide for you or to give you or offer you, any of those kind of things. So I definitely think that it's possible, you just got to want to do it.
Ms. Dominique, I have a question for that. Let's just say it's a man.
But I had a part 2 on that, Zeke. I was setting up.
Okay. Go ahead, Leslie. Go ahead.
I was setting up. Okay.
I already know. I've been watching y'all.
All right. So you said it is possible. You feel like, we should be able to do it. So you want a man, pretty much most women want a man that's going to make some money, right? Don't have to be a millionaire, but hey, you got to bring some money in, right?
Right.
In order for that to happen, he's got to be away from the house.
True.
Are you good with that? Because that's a complaint.
No, you have to. But it's going to be sometimes too where, as a woman, a lot of women nowadays are, business women. They're trying to start their own businesses. They're trying to brand their own things, but they're actually looking for a team player. So at the same time, it's going to take time for him to be away from the home. It's going to take time for the woman to be away from the home too. I mean, it just have to be an understanding, so I definitely feel like, you can't always make money in the house. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I work from home. My first job, I work from home, 7 to 3:30. That's my first job. I work from home. So it can definitely be done, but it's certain things where it's going to take, where you have to go out and you're going to have to do things, promote, advertise, whatever it takes to get, your brand out there, your business out there. So definitely with a man, we have to be understanding that the man have to be away from home, but we do have to understand that the women nowadays are, independent. Maybe there's some that's overly independent, because I've, heard that phrase before. But at the same time, it just got to be an understanding.
Okay, and you want your man to be able to emotionally connect with you, right?
Correct.
Right, but do you want an emotional man?
You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand
no issues with that?
I don't. Like, listen, I'm single. So I definitely, I understand from both perspectives, because I got a lot of friends, sisters, family that's in relationships, things of that sort. So you have to have an understanding there. But you want men to show emotions, but you have to also take that they've been through things too. You know what I'm saying? We're not the only ones that go through things. Men go through things regularly. Sometimes with the way that it is nowadays in the world, men go through a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even more than what we actually go through.
And Dominic, you're giving really good answers, but why is that a struggle with your peers? How come they struggle with that? How come they struggle to have that understanding that we're not robots?
I can't speak for everybody, but everybody was raised different, so you can't really say, well, why this person don't do that? But you got to look back at the upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Past relationships that I've been in, I go through therapy. So now I see things from both perspectives. You know what I'm saying? So I do see that it is harder, because now you have all of these women as so used to being raised by single women. They're used to doing things on their own. And then now you have to think with the pandemic, all of that kind of stuff. They gave so many opportunities to people, not just men, but to women as well. So now they're going out and they're doing things on their own. And they're, you know what I'm saying? They're branding themselves, because a lot of people right now aren't serious enough for relationships. They're not even thinking about relationships nowadays.
Yeah, we having some very good, wholesome women on. We're going to have to get some women from some broken homes. I'm not getting what I need.
Now they just
not broken
turn it over to you, oh.
Legend, they coming on here. They coming on here trying to be politically correct. And I just saw a post from Miss Sam Fine talking about submission to a man and a man as a leader are two different things. For one, you don't want to submit to a man, and all men are leaders, but it's just a lot of women like you that don't want the man to lead. But I'm gonna get back to Miss Dominique. Miss Dominique, if you don't mind, where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Well, we all are from Texas, and I think we are built different. And one of my questions to you is, you said that it ain't always sexual that a man has to please a woman, correct?
Correct.
But for some of these men that's out here, a lot of times we don't know how to please a woman, because we have never been taught, because we probably was raised in a single parent household. We didn't see our mother being pleased mentally, or whatever the case may be. Or if they got with somebody, they was in and out of the house and they was never there. So could you give me a couple of ways that a man can satisfy and please a woman without it being sexual?
You can please a woman by simply listening to a woman, listening how her day went. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why not listen to the man?
Wait a minute. It goes both ways. I'm not going to sit there and have you listen to everything I said and be like, okay, well, now I'm done. I'm going to just leave. Like, that's not fair. In a relationship, I think things are supposed to be equal. So I feel like if you're going to sit down and listen to what I got to say, of course I'm going to sit there and listen to what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Miss Dominique.
Yes.
As you said, I wasn't
finished. Tag teaming.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead, Zeke.
Go ahead and finish, Miss Dominique.
No, I was just saying, it's something as simply as listening. That, I feel like that's the most uncommon thing that's really done. You don't really listen to what the other person got to say.
Communication.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Communication is key. I definitely feel like that. Other ways, non-sexual. I mean, literally just maybe a little affection. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just communication, but it's just affection. Sometimes you just want to be held. Sometimes you just want to lay down and say, it's been a long day. I just want to hold you. I just want to love on you. I just want to cuddle with you. I mean, but sometimes nowadays you really can't get men to do a lot of those things. I mean, those two things, just listen and just affection, I feel like, I mean, that's not really hard to ask for.
But it's not hard to ask for, but you have to understand a lot of men haven't been taught these things, or they don't know how to do it. If I got around a lot of my homeboys back in the days, like the two on this show, when we was really, really out there, they not telling me how to be affection. They just said, hey, you got to go get it. Stick and move. Did you get a double today? I'm trying to go for a triple today. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. So nobody never taught us that. And then you said that it has to be equal. Do you honestly think in relationships it comes about being equal? Now I'm speaking for some men, not all men. For one, when we see a very attractive woman, it's a couple of things that we're trying to get. We're trying to see if we can get them the first night or how fast we can get them. Secondly, if they have something that's going to benefit me. If it's money, they got a good job. I know they can buy. I don't wear Jordans, but they're going to buy me some Jordans. They're going to be able to buy me some clothes. Do they have a nice car? I'm pretty sure she's going to let me have a car, because a lot of times women are not asking, are you staying with your mama? Who do you stay with? Where do you work at? What do you want out of this relationship? Do you just want sex? And then if you don't ask these questions, and that's what we leading up to try to get, and then we see that it's a problem because we never was taught how to be affectionate outside of sex, then it's a problem.
I mean, that's true, but I feel like this. If you with somebody and you don't expect to learn from them, then it's probably not the person that you want to be with, because I feel like I want to learn from my partner. This is a team thing. So it's not an I in team. So we are all together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to teach you some things and I expect you to teach me some things. It's not just one-sided. I mean, I definitely expect the things that you haven't seen before. Of course, I expect if God forbid that, you know, this relationship's in, that I want you to say, damn, well, she gave me some comfort. She gave me some affection. She listened to me, and you're going to remember me. And then you're going to think like, dang, you know what? Maybe I could have made it work, or I was being selfish or stubborn and I couldn't do these kind of things. But you got somebody willing to teach you. You just got to choose correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know your partner. And all of those things that you said was a lot of questions that people don't ask. They don't ask those type of questions. What are you looking for? What are this? Listen, I can tell you firsthand, I am one of them people. I don't ask those questions. I'm single. I was in a relationship for 3 years and obviously it didn't work out. I was engaged. Everything. I had a kid. You know what I'm saying? I had certain beliefs. So I wouldn't have give a kid to nobody but my husband. And then I'm engaged. So I kind of jumped the gun. And then it didn't work. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that I did not learn things. I know a lot of things about cars. I didn't even find my friends some good cars that they're still rolling around in. He taught me a lot about jewelry. It's things that I just feel like at the end of the day, I'm glad that it was things that I took out the relationship. And it was, you know, valuable things that I took out the relationship. Not just that in a child, but at the end of the day, I didn't go in a relationship looking for just one thing. I thought it was going to be a partnership. It just didn't work out.
Miss Dominique, I want to go back to the communication thing. You were saying that, hey, you do expect, or women as a whole expect men to be able to communicate and have that emotional connection and listen and be patient, all that stuff, right? You do understand that men are wired totally different when it comes to communication. You have to give credit for the effort as a whole that men give to listen to everything that y'all got to say. Y'all give the beginning, the middle, the end, and all the extra stuff. We don't want to really hear that, but we do try. Why women don't come and meet us halfway and talk less? The reason why we like ESPN, because ESPN can cover a 3-hour game in 30 seconds, because the way we're wired, we don't want to hear all that other stuff. It has nothing to do with us not being not having understanding the way we're wired, but we do try. When we fall short, that's when we get talked about, or you ain't this, you ain't shit, blah blah blah. You not meeting my needs, my emotional needs, and it's not true. We're trying. I just don't feel like women as a whole, not you, they're not having some type of understanding that okay, he's not even wired like me. Now, you get you a gay man, he can go toe to toe with you, can't he?
Right.
That's right. But a real man, we're not built that way.
That's true. No, I definitely get where you coming from there. But you have to think too, a lot of times we don't know the people that we get involved with. A lot of the times we just get involved with people. We jump into things. We don't really know people too well. So we don't know of their upbringing. We don't know the way that they were raised. We don't know a lot of things about this person that we really should be taking in consideration.
Don't
you know
ask
what I'm
the right
saying?
question.
But and that's where us women have to take responsibility for our actions. We look at these men, we see the potential. It's just like, oh, we can bring this out of them, we can help them with this. But at the end of the day, you can't be mad at yourself later on. No, you can only be mad at yourself when things don't work out the way that you expected it to, because you just rush into certain things. You didn't take the time to see what it really was about, who this person was really about, like any of that. I mean, for real, I feel like a lot of the things is how you were raised, and that's just learning from therapists, our podcast, talking to therapists. A lot of the things are your upbringing, the way you were raised, and we don't know that about everybody, and we can't look at a person and just automatically think we just know and think we can fix somebody. Us as women, we try to fix men a lot, broken men that we don't even know sometimes how broken they really are. So, and at the end of the day, we're not fixers. It's underlying issues that they need to get resolved before they can even get in relationships. And then we pull them in relationships and expect so much from them. And it's like, we can only expect as much as they know, but we don't know how much they really know.
True.
Wow. I said, no, I said earlier about knowing the person that you're with and asking some tough questions before you jump off the deep end, jump into the deep end. And like I said, I think that if we would take the time to ask some of these questions, because listen, once the fun, the newness, the honeymoon, the honeymoon, the great sex, or whatever, once that wear off, where are we? So now you listen, you sitting here, you laying here with somebody who you don't have anything in common with. You want children, he don't want children. He wants to move across the country. You want to stay where you are. I mean, there's just so many things that you have to have a conversation about before you further your relationship, and God forbid, before you have children, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's go ahead, Legend, because I see I just
you really hitting on a real good point though, man. It's almost getting to a point. What is the answer? Because you can check off all the boxes, and I do keep hearing about having a conversation, a real conversation. But people evolve and grow over time. You can have a real conversation in week 3 or month 5 in your relationship, and 3 years down the line, that person has changed and evolved, because that's what we're supposed to do. When that person changes, can you handle that change? Can you step up to the change? And a lot of times, people kind of be like, okay, hey, I'm on level 8 and you still at level 4. What's going on?
Then you're ready to leave and jump gun, and that's 3 years of my life taken away.
Exactly. And it goes back to what King was saying. Well, wait a minute. I thought we was in this for the long haul. You may be a little ahead in that area. If you love me, have some patience. I'm going to get there. We can't go at the same pace. Your journey is not my journey. With the spirit, the spirit of God's telling me is not the same as you. We different. Even though we become as one, we're still individuals. So it still needs to be more patience, more understanding from both sides for this thing to even have a chance. And if you don't, it's gonna fall off. And I don't have a concrete answer to this. I've been divorced twice, so I got a lot of experience, but I don't have a lot of answers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but I didn't get what the question was, because it's like, I feel like this at the same time. You just said, like, if, the guy is here and, the woman is on this level. But I mean, when you really think about it, sometimes too, the woman mature faster than men. So
True.
sometimes it's knowing who you with to even know if you even started off on the same level. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might not get that from everybody, and you might feel like, oh, well, we have this in common. I found out that, and I don't know if this 100% true, but this is what my therapist told me. It takes 2 years to actually know if that's the person that you want to be with. You got, like you guys said, the first year is the honeymoon stage, and then you got the second year where you go around family, serious situations, things like that. You know what I'm saying? When things change, when everything is lustful and, oh, everything is just so fun and so great, everything is cool. But then when everything gets serious and you start combining stuff together, your whole lifestyles, things of that sort, and it start getting serious, it can start to put a strain on kind of things. But my whole thing is this person worth waiting for? Is this person worth fighting for? But that's trying to figure that out. But I feel like this. I feel like me being in relationships, and I might not have been in a million relationships, but I feel like even over time, you feel like you know somebody, you never fully know somebody. No, like you can't. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Miss Dominique. Okay, you said in 2 years you get that's 2 years it takes to get to know someone, right?
Right.
Why in 2 years you have a child? Because after them 2 years, no, I'm just saying, not you, just women in general. Let's just say I'm with somebody for 2 years and I don't think it's going right, but we had a child. So now in actuality, I done messed up this woman's life. Most likely, hopefully I ain't mess up the child's life, because I ain't gonna be there every day within the house with that child. I'm gonna be moved on, probably find me somebody else whose life I'm gonna mess up for another 2 or 3 years. And then we never got married. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the right questions have to be asked and answered.
Totally.
And 9 times out of 10, the woman is left with the child.
That's true. That's true. It's definitely true. But I can't answer for a man as to why, because at the end of the day, at those 2 years, then you're supposed to figure out if that's where you want to be. Now, if you jump the gun like me, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm not going to have any more kids unless I'm married, but then I got engaged and then I had a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can only blame myself. And at the end of the day, whether that person wanted to be there, continue to take responsibility and do that, that was something I had to take in consideration, that, oh, well, they may possibly not be.
Don't blame yourself, because it's not your fault. It's that idiot's fault.
No, but listen, at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like things just, the communication wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? The different upbringings. And I have to take responsibility, because I feel like I was an enabler. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was things where it'd be like, oh, okay, well, this isn't working out. Okay, I'm going to help you do this and we'll figure this out. But it was like, after you keep doing that and then they keep on stopping doing this, and it's like, it's more of a burden than it is actual help. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you really just got to know the person that you're with, because even after 2 years, you may not still know the person like you think you do, but are you still asking those important questions? Or are you still trying to get to know that person? Or, you know what I'm saying? All of the things that's changed in that time frame with you or that person that y'all have to bring together and collaborate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to take all of those kind of things in consideration. But knowing your partner at the end of the day is the best thing to do. Because if you don't know your partner, then you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to be a success. But patience is virtue. So you're supposed to have patience.
I think it comes down to, like King Cleve said, being there for the long haul, being patient. At the same time, how long do you wait? Nobody wants to waste their time, their life, while you taking your time, or you have the inability to make changes in your life. So to me, that's the big $1 million question throughout this whole thing. More so on the women's side, there, like you said, women are much smarter. They mature faster. They grow at a quicker rate. Men like to just kind of settle into their own little world and kind of stay there. Mm-hmm. How long do you wait on that? And a lot of times, I know with me, I had to go. I had to lose everything to wake me up. Not everybody's like that. I'm very stubborn in my ways. I'm locked in. I'm hardwired. If I believe something and I have my beliefs, Jesus Christ ain't about to tell me nothing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, then I'm hearing what you're saying too. Whereas, well, how long do you wait? And that's a good question, though.
But you can't put a time limit on how long you wait. But you got to be strong enough to know when to leave. Like, I feel like that was my thing. It wasn't. I didn't know when it was to leave. I felt like, okay, well, you know what? This is just a minor bump in the road. Maybe I can go a little further, and I can go a little further, and I can go a little. You have to know. You have to know at the end of the day, this isn't going to work. This is going to be that. I know when I look back now, it was multiple times I've seen red flags where it was like, you should have got out of this. You should have got out of it, when it was things where you said you would never accept, but you accepted it from this person because why? It's just because you're not thinking clearly. That's where we have to take responsibility too. It's not just you. We have to know when to leave. Just how you need to know when to leave with the woman as well. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, over time, like, dang, this just not going to work. It's not what I thought it was going to be. We're not on the same level. We're not bonding. We're not connecting how I thought. When you outweigh all of the sexual things, all of the fun, all of that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's just knowing when to leave. It's no time limit. You can't put a time limit on when it is to leave. I mean, because sometimes getting to know somebody through therapy, it doesn't take 2 years. You can find out that this isn't the person for you in a couple of weeks or a month or a couple of days. Like, this just not right.
Or 25. Or 25.
Exactly. But you don't want to go that long.
It happens.
No, it does. But listen, your peace is more important than anything. So my whole thing is, you can love somebody from a distance. You do not have to be with somebody because you love them. You can love people all day, but that does not mean that you have to be in some type of committed relationship with that person.
What's love got to do with it, huh?
Exactly.
All right.
That is correct. Okay, well, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your evening, night now, and spending it with us, giving us your insight. And from what I'm understanding, we're gonna bring the other half of your show in.
Yes.
She's been making a few little comments about us giving you a hard time. So
y'all gotta know it. Y'all want to go get that
one right here coming up.
Duo. You hear me? We are as one. Okay. She ain't taking no shit.
One for you right here.
She ain't taking no shit.
But again, we appreciate it, and we're going to make a certain effort to support your show and things that you got on. I'll definitely, like I said, after bedtime, I'll try to,
This is the Uncut podcast. You hear me?
Hey, I'm gonna have to invite them on me and Miss Mina podcast show.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good one.
The conversation gonna be a little bit more turned up. This right here, a little sticky situation. Everybody just okay. We're gonna bring some fun and some spice to the next podcast. Okay.
Okay. That's great. But again, we thank you, and we're gonna go ahead.
Thank you for having us. Y'all ready? No, I hope y'all ready, because the next one is the debater. Okay, I was easy on y'all. Angel, she ain't no joke. Okay, so
but that's what the legend waiting on. That's what we're gonna wait.
Oh yeah, she gonna give it to y'all. Trust and believe.
All right. Well, we appreciate
follow Dominatrix podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
All right, Miss Dominique.
All right, see you.
All
right, man. Let's go ahead and go to break.
We'll just go and get into it.
Yeah, man. Get it.
Yeah, let's take a minute break, man.
All right. Okay.
All right. All right, we are now back live upper room. We are now on with our third and final guest.
Yeah, got me up past my bedtime.
Bedtime.
But we're gonna wake you up. You're gonna be up for this one.
Hold on now.
Oh, I've been up. I've been in the back seat waiting. Waiting.
Past your bedtime. You have a midnight show that y'all do, right?
Never said it was midnight.
No. After hours? No? Okay.
No.
All right. So with that being said, Miss Angel, right?
Yes.
Here's your resume. Tell us all about yourself. Everything you got going on.
So, yeah, like Dominique said, we got a podcast. During the day, I'm a medical assistant, and currently I do trivia hosting and I sell sex toys. So I do a little bit of everything on the side. Eventually going to start selling edibles. So, yep.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to, for our viewers and followers, you want to give us your social, your platforms, you throw it out there, so maybe you can pick up. I'm sure we got some freaks that watch us too.
Yeah, so y'all can find us anywhere and everywhere if you just put Dom and Atrix. So it's DOMAND Atrix. So Dom like Dominique, A and Trix, Dominatrix.
Okay.
Yep, on all platforms. Any and every.
Okay. All right. Zeke, you want to go ahead and take the lead on this one? I'm sitting back and just kind of.
Can I start off by saying something, please?
Go ahead, Miss Angel.
So I hear a lot of talk about hormones, and I just want to please, can we just stop talking about that? Because everybody has hormones, right? And nobody can control their emotions. They can only control their reactions. So, and certain person doesn't have less hormones than a certain person. So it's can we stop talking about that? Because women don't it's not our emotions that we run off of. It's men run off of. It's not our hormones that kind of run us. It's kind of it's our mood and how we feel. It is our emotions. That's what I meant to say, but not necessarily our hormones.
I don't think did anybody say anything about hormones.
I know you said emotions.
Yeah, y'all been talking about it. I've been listening to Hope because I've been oh my God.
No.
I've been listening to this whole show. And it's been said a few times. And I'm why do they keep talking about hormones? It's the weirdest thing. And then I think somebody even referenced to a gay man having less hormones than a straight man. And that's definitely not true. It's a gay man, they live in their feminine energy a lot more than a straight man, but it doesn't mean that they have any different hormones running through their body unless they are supplementing hormones and taking other hormones. But other than that, it's all the same. For the most part, unless they have any imbalance, everybody is the same.
Yeah, I was the one that talked about all the emotional, the undisciplined response from a woman, but I never said hormones. So
you said it a few times.
No, I didn't say that.
Why do we keep bringing this hormone up? That does not hormones is not the problem. It's that people don't know how to deal with their emotions and their moods and how they feel. That's the issue. It has nothing to do with any hormones. It's not some people have a hormone imbalance. Yeah, and that's people are mental in mental hospitals for that. But it's hormones is not the issues. It's really the problem, and it's really the literacy that people don't know.
Emotionally more than men as a whole. That's a fact. Women are more emotional. That don't mean that men don't have the same level of emotions. We just don't display it because we have more discipline as a whole. That's the point.
I don't believe that to be true.
Well, we'll have to research that.
I will have to say that I am one of 6.
Check out your arguments. Check out your arguments with your man. Who's the
Listen, I am one of 6, right? And I am the only girl of 6. So I have been around men my whole life. So, and not even to mention my cousins, brothers, and friends. And so, I mean,
go to your arguments with your man. Think about the arguments you have with your man. Who's the one doing most of the hollering? Who's the one doing
the man? The man.
I know what man you've been with. I can't never get 2 words in.
That's the problem because a lot of people don't listen. I listen.
Raise our voice to get a point across. I say, as men, we do have to raise our voice to get a point across within an argument. I mean, I think that's where that comes from. I don't think that it's just necessarily we so emotional that we, yelling and screaming. It's just like with a child, when you're dealing, with your children, and I know, like with my daughter, I can sit and watch my wife say stuff to her, and she won't even And when once I raise my voice, it changes things. It's an attention grabber. So I don't know. But
I mean, you could. I mean, I don't know. It's hard being like this is like a kind of like I feel like it's like a man's world, But it is hard being a woman, especially a Black woman. It's like we get faced with the question every day. It's like what we bring to the table, and I think what like y'all was saying is like
the same thing though. We go through the same thing. You don't think it's hard for a Black African American man?
If you would let me finish my sentence, sir, because I was literally about to say, but there is no way in hell that I would ever trade it in to be a Black man. So I understand the struggles that y'all go through. But I think what the biggest problem is that we constantly feel like we gotta prove what we bring to the table, and that none of that should matter, because every relationship is different, right? So like if a man already knows how to cook and provide for himself and do all of that, a woman knowing how to do it is not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, so I think where the problem is like every relationship is different. Everybody is going to require something different from their partner. So I think the problem is like we so focused on what the man is worried about what the woman should be, and the woman is worried about what the man should be, and instead they need to go inside themselves and figure out who the fuck they are. Because I don't think enough people do that. And I think that's the biggest problem is people don't ask themselves the hard questions, like not in a relationship. Because I think that is where the disconnect is all the way. Like, period, point blank. The Black woman can do better with figuring out who we are before we give ourselves away. And the Black man can do a lot better with figuring out who they are and what they want and what they like before they just go over and just try, Kim, Lisa and Kim, like.
Yeah, Miss Angel. Okay. I want to go back to what you were saying, how there's so much pressure on the Black woman and there's so many demands and expectations. I think I can speak for all the men that's on this panel. I don't think that we went to our wives and checked out to see how much money they was making. I think that when we didn't put that type of expectation. That expectation is we are in the crosshairs of that expectation right there. We are judged by not only by how much we make, but how we make it. Because there are some women out there that's even going to judge. I may make $60,000, $70,000, but I may do it in sanitation. There's women out there that still ain't going to talk to me for that because they're embarrassed about even what we do. So
yeah, but you got to understand it's because those women probably
oh man, look what kind of car she drive. I ain't finna talk to her. We don't do that. We don't do that. We look at the spirit of that person. Obviously we're gonna look at how they look because we're creatures. We see with our eyes. That's what's gonna attract us. Okay. After that, yeah, all that other stuff that y'all put on us, we don't put on y'all. Y'all the ones going out there, and it may not you, but y'all don't want to put all the plastic.
I was about to say, well, one thing I can do is I can't speak for every woman, but
because you're competing against another woman, we ain't putting that pressure on y'all. Y'all doing it to yourselves because you're going around, you're judging, you're criticizing each other. Look at what she got on. Look at her, this and that. Y'all know y'all do that, but we not putting that on y'all. I just wanted to make that point.
Right. And what I can't do is I can't speak for every woman. But you would be, I mean, I would be lying if I never compared myself. But that's something that, again, that I have to work on with myself, because if you know who you are, anything else it doesn't matter, because I'm only in competition with the person that I was yesterday. So that's just how I look at life now. I'm just totally, I don't compare myself to anybody else. So, or talk down on the next woman, because I don't ever, everybody's struggle is different.
How you feel about Kevin Samuel?
I don't care about that man, to be honest. It was no hard feelings, but I didn't really know much about him, to be honest. His show, like his thing went across my Instagram a few times, but his death, I mean, it didn't mean it too much. I'm sad.
You never watched any of the show?
Oh, go ahead, though.
So
it went across my Instagram a few times. Like, everybody has their opinion, so I can never be mad at his opinion. Do I think some of his opinions were true? Yes. Do I think that his delivery could have been better? I feel like they went on his show for that reason. Like, you know already what you signing up for, so I go on it. So
yeah. I have a question for you on being apologetic. Is being apologetic, is that an expectation from women, or is that just something that y'all think that men is supposed to do?
I feel like in a relationship, it's gonna be full of forgiveness. I mean, like, you gonna do something that's not that person not gonna agree with, or that person not gonna be happy with. So it's gonna be a lot of forgiveness. But as far as apologetic, that has to do with like the person you are and how you were raised. That has nothing to do with like a relationship or anything to me. Because if you don't feel like what you did was wrong, then I don't give a fuck about an apology, to be honest.
Okay, now you brought up, hold on, Legend. You brought up forgiveness, okay? Now you just said you really don't give a fuck because it's not something a part of a relationship. So if I was being apologetic for something I did, would you accept it as being sincere, or would you accept it as in you just apologizing because I'm asking you for an apology?
Yeah, that's what she just
said. You don't give a fuck.
No.
Listen, I'm gonna always listen to your words. They're gonna always be heard. But what really speaks louder than everything is, of course, action. So it's like, yeah, okay, you say that, great, I hear it, but these actions gonna have to follow up with that.
Okay.
Like, are you really apologetic, or are you just sorry you got caught, or are you sorry that it happened? You know.
See, that's my thing. Like, I can be telling you I apologize, but you're gonna always have that thought back in your mind. Am I really sincere, like you just said, or I'm just being apologetic? Now with the forgiveness, but with the forgiveness,
I was about to say, again, I can only speak for myself. You know, like, I'm gonna let you show me those actions. You know, because most people, they will leave. You know, but again, I'm gonna give you the time to show me these actions. But if I keep seeing if you keep showing me the same pattern, you know, like, you know what they always say, if it quack like a duck, you know. Okay,
so you're gonna give me the opportunity to show my actions, so you really do give a fuck instead of that you don't give a fuck.
No, what I said is if you don't believe in the apology, I don't care. Because a lot of people just say, oh, I'm sorry, just for you to feel better, or they think it's gonna make you feel better or something like that. But like, if you don't believe it, I don't care to hear it. But like, if you actually believe it and gonna move forward and do what the fuck you gotta do, then yeah, great.
But you know, but a lot of women say they forgive, but they actually don't. This is why I'm gonna get into the forgiveness. Now, some women can say they forgive, and I'm not just saying you, I'm just saying in general. Some women will say
I know,
they
but y'all keep doing that. We can't speak for I don't know. I can't speak for her.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying some women. I'm just saying some women. So I'm not saying this particularly to you, but some women, they'll say they forgive, but then 2 or 3 months later, you bringing up the same shit when I thought you forgave.
Yeah.
Well, are you still doing the same shit that you was doing 2-3 months ago? Like, y'all gotta understand, like,
it don't have to be the same thing. It can be a trigger. Y'all women have triggers. Y'all can be around y'all girlfriends and they going through something. And you can be like, girl, I can relate. I remember when such and such did this.
You talking, y'all do a lot of hypothetical and like these situations is like
women do that. These not hypotheticals. You can't sit up here and say that you ain't never been through that. That one of your girls said this and you ain't never did that. So
and so I just assumed that my nigga was doing the same. No, sir, I'm not perfect in no way, shape, or form. But everybody don't think like that. That just sounds like an insecure woman. Is what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't secure in her relationship.
So I don't have to apologize. Basically, just start showing the action, right? Just kill all that apology stuff because, like you say, words don't mean anything. You want action. So I don't need to be saying nothing. So can I just go ahead and make a mistake and just be like, well, look, I'm gonna just show over the next few months. I didn't change.
What are mistakes?
I ain't about to acknowledge that because she probably ain't trying to feel it. Nor does she appreciate the fact that I'm apologizing.
No, so like, I mean, I guess I gotta know the context of these mistakes. Mistakes is like, you know, accidentally forgetting, you know, like that you had an appointment or something like that. But like, what are these mistakes? Because cheating is not a mistake, or like, so I don't know. I guess we gotta kind of figure out what these mistakes are.
So if I was to cheat and I apologize and I am very sincere about my apology, you can forgive me.
I guess the action got to come with that over time, huh? And I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying, you know, if I cheated, hey babe, I'm sorry.
The only reason why you cheated because you brought it up. So if
that's because I don't know, it's just like because a lot of men like to say, you know, oh, that was a mistake, but like that is definitely not a mistake, you know. That is a choice that you make. It's an active choice that you make. So I don't know. I guess we just gotta kind of. I need to know the context of things before I just answer. All right. Because I ain't trying to get no man off the hook. Because
I mean, if you cheat, it's mainly because you know we just couldn't control it.
So what can we normalize like being upfront and honest about the type of relationships that men want? Because I think if more men was honest about that, then more women would be more open to alternative relationships, right? So maybe if more men say, well, I don't necessarily want to be in a monogamous relationship, then maybe women will kind of open up their mindsets to be like, okay, well, maybe we can think about it. Maybe we can open it up. But the problem is that the man only wants the woman to themselves and they don't want to share the woman. So that is an issue.
Right.
Another issue comes.
Y'all ain't supposed to do it. Yeah, that ain't fair.
You know what I mean? So, or even like have an open relationship. A lot of men were like, oh, I want you to be completely faithful to me, but I could kind of do whatever. Or that's what they do. They say they want to be in a monogamous relationship, but then they're having sex with multiple women. So it's like maybe if more men were honest about the types of relationships that they want, then you know, maybe women will be a little bit more open-minded to alternative relationships like polygamy and polyamory and stuff like that.
I gotta find the right woman for that. That's just not gonna work for me. I just don't think most men want to take that gamble. But I mean, I guess you gotta know.
That's the problem. But that's the problem. And then y'all kind of also mentioned something about like, you know, finances, because finances always come up. And I think the problem is like with women becoming more independent, right? And we're making money now. It kind of takes that off the table for men, because that was all they was able to come to the table with was money. And then the woman was okay to just like sit back and do whatever, and they could go out and do whatever they want to, but the woman got to keep the house up. She got to take care of the kids, and she got to completely exhaust herself while the man get to kind of do whatever he want to do. Because that woman kind of mentioned that lifestyle earlier.
Is that the only thing we bring to the table?
Now it's starting to, the men are starting to realize like, oh shit, once you take just me being financially stable off of the table, now what?
Because that's the only thing we bring to the table is bringing home the money, bringing home the bacon. That's the only thing we bring to the table.
No. That's earlier. That was something that was mentioned earlier. The young lady who was on earlier, she mentioned that the man kind of went to work and he brought home the bacon, and the woman worked too, and she took care of the kids, and she took care of the house, and she took care of the man. It was like, yikes, who is taking care of her? Because I just thought like, I think that was the issue, was like my mom's generation watched her mom's generation live that life where they was at home taking care of the kids, and they was, you know, the because that's how my grandparents were. My grandfather worked, my grandmother didn't. She took care of all the kids. And my mother, she realized that was not what she wanted. And unfortunately, I watched my mama struggle to raise 6 kids, but she did it. And I saw that. So it's different. It's like we definitely gonna have a different mindset with the different generations, because we didn't have a lot of men around. Crack epidemic killed the Black community as far as like the man structure. They took them in jail and prison. They killed them. Like, it's horrible, you know? So I think, again, we got to get better at like taking care of ourselves and realizing who we are before we jump into these relationships. And that's the core. That's the issue. That's it. So if the question is about taking responsibility, I think that's the responsibility that people need to start taking.
King.
I'm just I was taking it in, but one thing I did want to say before we wrap all of this up, something that you said and the difference in generations, and what you said that she said, and yeah, there is a gap as far as that when it in with generations. I'm sure that you are younger than us. So
a lot. I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but I think I am. I don't know how old you guys are.
I'm sorry. I got a son. I have a son that's 28.
Oh, so yeah. I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, so you probably closer to his age than you are to me. So, and I said that to say this is that what we saw, you know, our grandparents, and that probably would have been your great grandparents, or you know, your parents are around probably closer to our age, and so yeah, it's a gap into what you see and the way things are changing now. So yeah, back then, you know, I watched my grandfather do that. You know, I watched him, you know, pay every bill, come, you know, home, but I watched him cook too, because he probably was the better 2 of the cooks, you know, but. So you know, it's and like you said, whatever works, you know.
Yeah, because what I also forgot to mention is that he has 16 kids, but they only had 6. So it's like, yeah, my grandma, she stayed home. She took care of all of that, but she wasn't happy.
So what?
You don't think she was happy?
That man had 16 kids on. I'm pretty, well, 10 other kids outside of their marriage. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought they had 16 kids. Okay.
Yeah, but she, like, they were married until the day she died. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But see, you ain't gonna have that now, because you know child support is prevalent now. So we ain't doing none of that no more. I know 16 kids. Ain't no
yeah.
But anyway, Ms. Angel, we thank you for your time, and I know we done ran over and we done kept you up, and you probably gotta go to work. Good thing is I'm off tomorrow, so ain't nothing bothering me.
We'll get the last laugh later.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah. But we definitely thank you for your time.
Of course.
Thank you, Ms. Angel.
Like I told you, your partner in crime, we will.
Yes. I hope I gave y'all the kickback y'all was looking for.
Well, I think the legend gonna want another round. I don't think he got it all out.
I need a one-on-one.
Maybe, hey,
I'm down.
Maybe, hold on. Maybe y'all can bring the legend on y'all show.
Yeah. I want all the
definitely. Smoke. We always down. But no, our show is not like so. Our show is not combative. Y'all feel like y'all show is a little combative. Like y'all want us to be just like rah. No, we have fun. We talk about ass and titties.
I watched a little bit of it. I had to turn it off, but yeah, maybe you bring the legend on for a round of that.
Okay.
But anyway, so again, thank you. We appreciate it. We want to thank all our guests.
Thank you.
Until the next time. Legend.
Right.
So that's it in a nutshell. Did you get it all out, Legend?
No, of course not.
No. You got a lot more, huh?
Like it didn't quench my thirst, but it's all good.
And okay. But maybe we should have brought on because it was a little bit more combative that last go around.
Yeah, we should have had her first, man.
Yeah, you got to work your way up, man.
Yeah.
But we don't know what our guest gonna bring to the table.
True that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. But but again, the thing is, you're dealing with two different generations.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So their views are going to be different, which is why one of the reasons why I wanted that. You're gonna get two different views on how things should be. Or you ain't gonna say how they should
think they should be.
Yeah. But anyway, man, let's get some let's thank some people, Zeke, and then closing thoughts and wrap this thing up. Let's kind of make it quick. Let's see if we can wrap it up by 10:30.
All right, man. Before I get into our thank you, man, I want everybody to know that our classmate, Mr. Lance Scott Walker, wrote a book on DJ Screw called A Life in the Show of Revolution. It's a good book. And I know y'all should be proud of him because y'all know I ain't a book reader. I've been reading this almost through it. He will be in Galveston.
What's the name of the book again?
It's called A Life in Slow Revolution.
Okay, send that to me. You know me.
All right. And it's by our classmate Lance Scott Walker out of Galveston Ball High School. He's going to be in Galveston on May the 28th at the Galveston Bookshop and the Pro Latrate Gallery. So he'll be there from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please go by there, man. Get your book. He sent me this book autographed, and you can get your book autographed as well. So I really appreciate that, Lance, giving him a big shout out. He wants to come on the show so we can interview him, give him why he chose to do the book and stuff like that. He's a Texas Longhorn graduate out of Galveston Ball. Also, please be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. We have 4 Facebook pages, being The Upper Room, Upper Room West, and Upper Room. So you can't miss any of our shows. The reason why we have so many because our platform is growing. You can also follow us on YouTube under The Upper Room. Look for the 8-ball logo with the UR in the middle. Press the subscribe as well as the bell. So anytime we post a video, go live, or put something on YouTube, you'll get an alert. And please download the Stationhead app. We have our own podcast radio stations, and follow the Upper Room as well as Zeke, the 5-Foot Freak radio station. You send us 4 of your favorite artists, and we'll create a music list in your name, which will always be on our Stationhead app radios, being the Upper Room and Zeke, the 5-Foot Freak. With that being said, we want to give a big shout out to Busy Bee Cab Stands, Diversity Realty, Element 7 Salon, Fortray Photography, Ink to the T, Cooteroos Crawfish, National Scouting Service, New Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church, Picture Perfect Photography, Silver Coastal Construction, Team Body and Work, The Pleasure Boss, the 6-figure single moms, that's Miss Crystal Smith, also the Tominopolis Personal Chef, UGBN Productions, Uncontested Hoops, TT's Treats, The Footprint Incorporated, Charles and Charles Photography, and Ink to the T t-shirt. So please follow all those on their social media outlets, whether it's Instagram or on Facebook. And that's all I got, fellas.
All right. Well, give us some closing thoughts since you're on the stage right now.
Hey, well, my closing thoughts is when you're talking about relationships, there are 2 roles, and it's just the roles that you choose to pick. Whether you just want to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or whether you want to be a husband or a wife. But you do have to know when you're just the boyfriend or the girlfriend, only thing you can be able to do is comfort that individual, because at any given time they can get up and leave and find them a new boyfriend or girlfriend. You don't get the privilege and the perks when you are a married couple, being a husband and a wife, because the husband and wife going to meet the family going to meet the husband and wife. You're going to get more things out of it. I'm not saying you can't get this in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, but the bond is stronger. You're trying to say, share a relationship and a life and a long covenant in life. And I think that's the better perks that you can have in being a boyfriend and a girlfriend compared to a husband and wife. And sometimes you got to see what your end game is, because if it's just with a boyfriend and girlfriend, the end game ain't going to what you want it to be. But in a marriage, it can be a long haul and a long relationship, and it can be something that you can benefit from.
Already.
Reggie?
Hey man, God made you a man, so let's be men. We here to protect and to provide. He made us logical. We have the innate ability to have control of our emotions, to make clear-headed decisions. Stop living in fear. And I know, you saying you're not living in fear, but anytime that you are not trying to do something, it is not so much a fear of I'm afraid of a tiger or a lion, but it's a fear because you cannot control the outcome, and we have to get away from that, which leads to manipulation. She's not going to respect us in the long run. Women need us to be men regardless on how much they bitch and complain. They need us to be men, regardless on what they say. As long as you live in your truth, doing the right thing, your lady friend, your wife, your girlfriend, she's going to respect you for it. But it doesn't mean that she going to apologize or whatever. You'll just get respected in the most silent way. And she may just give you something that night. And that's it.
That's what I'll come back to, huh?
That's it, bro. Full circle.
All right. Well, I think y'all pretty much covered it. I really don't have much to say. Thank you. God bless. We appreciate the support.